Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Wow, all this Atlantis talk got me thinking about the Sphinx, about the Sphinx in on the Gaza Plateau that guards the pyramids. And yes, of course, I've been there because I've gone to see the pyramids. And when you're there, you realize that that Sphinx is not the original Sphinx. The head is way too small, for one. For another, it just looks different. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. You can tell it was carved in afterwards. And that was actually, a lot of the Egyptian pharaohs did that. As they came to power, they changed things from the previous pharaoh, etc., etc. They would write their name over top or chisel it in, or just chisel the whole name out, etc., etc. I just want to pick up some energy of the Sphinx in Egypt on the Gaza Plateau. What can you tell us? Apparently it predates the pyramids. It's older than the pyramids. There's lots and lots of weathering on it, etc., etc. Let's see, what's the energy of the Sphinx? What can you tell us about the Sphinx? Cards are ready. Oh, are they ever? They're ready to chat. They've had a good rest. Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups in reverse, Strength, there it is, Leo. Oh, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. King of Swords and the Moon. Okay, so there it is, the Leo, the lion that faces the Leo constellation. That's what they say it is. But you know what they also say, it was originally a dog, and look at these dogs howling at the moon. So what it is, as a Leo the lion, is actually delusion. It's actually a dog. And here's the King of Swords, and like I said, somebody redid it, Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is the king. And there he is with his sword, cutting it up to reflect so it looks like him. Let's see what else. The Empress. The Empress. The Eight of Wands. And the Seven of Pentacles. It's because it also was facing the dog star. It was originally what a lot of scholars now believe is that the Sphinx, which we think is a cat, which is Leo, which faces the Leo constellation, is actually a dog and faces the dog star. Wondering what Venus has to do with this. It was meant to be there a very, very long time. It's not a lion. The Sphinx is not a lion. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse there, telling us no. Two of Wands upright. Page of Cups in reverse. And the Page of Swords upright. What's the underlying? Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you know what? I think it was reworked. It was reworked. And it wasn't done very well. The reworking wasn't done very well. It was meant to last a very, very long time. Was it supposed to be female with this Empress? We don't have the Emperor. We do have a King of Swords. So yes, one of the pharaohs did rework the original Sphinx, and it should be, that's an illusion, and it should be a dog. It has the hunches of a dog. There's other things that, like the tail should have a fluff on the end like a lion. It doesn't. It has a tail of a dog. It sits like a dog. The head of the Sphinx is way too small for the body, and that's why they think it was carved down from a dog into the Sphinx. Also, the headdress that the Sphinx is wearing does not match the timing of the original Sphinx. That headdress the pharaohs wore much, much later in the Middle Kingdom rather than the Old Kingdom. And if we go by the dating that the Sphinx is older than the pyramids, that pharaoh would not have worn that headdress. Page of Swords, it's some kind of message. It's some kind of message to people. It was some kind of guard. It definitely was. We have a Two of Wands here, and then the World. It was some kind of message to the world. Was it a gateway? Was it a gateway to other worlds? Well, look at it. Looking if you think of it, looking at the dog star. Page of Swords. So it was a bad rework. 8 of Swords. Look at 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, eights. The Devil. You know, Temperance in reverse is also the Devil. And 5 of Cups in reverse, 3 of Pentacles. There is a theory that it was a gateway to the underworld. And it's interesting these cards have showed up. Or protection from the underworld, right? Like a dog guarding a spot, for example. A dog guarding, keeping evil forces away from you. So if it was originally a dog, keeping the underworld away. Interesting, we have the Devil and then Temperance in reverse, which is an angel in reverse, is a fallen angel. 5 of Cups upright, looking forward to the future. This almost looks like the Tower of Babel here. So is this how far back it goes when the Tower of Babel came down? Is this to keep us safe from the underworld, from being a victim, being caught in our own spider web? 3, 10 of Swords in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, Knight of Cups upright, 4 of Pentacles upright, 5 of Swords. Knight of Swords is attack, and the Knight of Cups is winning. I was going to say 4 pyramids, but there isn't. There's 3. I think this just is telling us that that's going to keep its secrets. It's going to keep it tight onto its secrets. It's going to be a mystery of what it is. 4 of Pentacles. It's keeping its information close to its chest. And speaking of its chest, there's a big stele in between its paws that has a lot of information about man and about the world, and that was actually stolen and hidden. 5 of Swords, the Hermit, the Chariot in reverse, 7 of Cups upright, Death in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, I think we will never know the real meaning of the Sphinx or why it was there. There's just too much confusion. The information, it may be written in the stars. Maybe we're looking too close at the pyramids and whatnot. Remember, if it was built before the pyramids, then it has nothing to do with the pyramids. So why are we looking at the pyramids for some of the answers when the answer's in the stars? Now, some people have said that that the pyramids echo Orion's belt. Some people say that it faces the constellation of Leo. I think those are all gaslighting. That's all different. That's to confuse us. there is something about one particular star that just keeps showing up over and over and over. I think there might have been something around a death cult. So for example, if that dog was protecting us from the underground, the death cult in ancient Egypt is very well known. Mummies, their idea of death was quite elaborate. The funerals were quite elaborate. You saved things that you could use in the next world. I think it had more to do with a death cult than anything. I think it was supposed to be female, because we have the Empress and now we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. I don't think the Sphinx was ever male per se. I think the Sphinx was female, and you have to remember back then, in ancient Egypt, it was the matriarchy ran things. It wasn't the patriarchy. And that it doesn't mean that females were in charge. It just means different things like artistic pursuits and creativity and homemaking and cooperation and whatnot were the ruling ideas of the day. That doesn't mean all was women ruled. It just meant it was just gentler times. Whereas patriarchy is more aggressiveness, right? And more going out and creating more land for the country, right? By wars and by taking over and being, more muscular rather than creative. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying these are the differences. And I think that's why we have the Queen of Wands and the Empress here. I think it was during, I think the Sphinx was created during the matriarchy ruling of Egypt. And that was like just part of it built, creating this dog that was to protect them from the underworld. And then something happened that there was the death of that culture, and the ending of the matriarchy. And then that's when it switched over to the patriarchy. And then the King of Swords here carved it into the head of, so it looks more like a king. It looks more, right? That's the headdress of a king. Looks more like a king, looks more like a pharaoh. And that would mark the end of the matriarchy. And this is also indicated by the Knight of Wands here. Also the Chariot here, that would be the end of Cancer, right? So if we have the Leo season, you have to remember it goes backwards. So the end of Leo time and the beginning of Cancer time. And of course, Cancer is a female or feminine astrological sign. So that shows us that the end of Leo and then the beginning of Cancer would be the matriarchy, and then back to Gemini, which is the King of Swords, is the patriarchy. So that makes absolute sense. Absolute sense. So maybe it was originally pointed at Leo. It was a dog, but it was pointed at Leo because it started in the era of Leo. Then it moved over to the era of Cancer. And once the era of Cancer was over, which was the end of the matriarchy, the era of Gemini started, and that's the start of patriarchy, and that's when they changed the head. And that's also indicated by the Queen of Wands here is over, and in comes the Knight of Wands and the bursting in, the patriarchy taking over. So that's it for the Sphinx. Actually, that's actually very, very interesting. But yeah, we need to look to the stars. Both cards here indicate the answer to the Sphinx is in the stars. Well, that goes Leo, Cancer, Gemini. Then of course was Taurus, that was the bull. And then we went into Aries, which was the ram, and then we are now in the Piscean age, and soon we'll be moving into the age of Aquarius. Back to swords. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I sure appreciate you. Take good care. Bye for now.